Chat, Kyrgyzstan uploaded a video. You guys need this. I promise you, some of you need this right now. You need to quit weed. Some of you need this video. Some of you need this. I was mid-blinker. Some of you need this. The mirror is here and it's time to look in it. It's time to look in the mirror. Isn't this the guy that copy struck you? No, not even a little bit. That was CGP Ray.
Weed is a serious drug that can have devastating consequences for your life. This is an unpopular thing to say, but it's true. We don't think it should be illegal because for most people using weed isn't problematic or has only mild negative consequences. But about 20% of people who've ever tried it develop cannabis use disorder, and some of them become severely addicted. That's actually a stunning amount of people, and many who start using weed don't know what they're in for.
I feel like people stopped the argument that I heard when I was younger, which is you can't get addicted to weed. I think there's been a shift. I think we've had a shift. I still hear that. When I was young, I heard it all the time. I hear it less now. This video is just about weed, bro. This video is not about cigarettes. There's not enough research to show if cigarettes are bad for you yet.
In the US, daily or near daily weed use has skyrocketed since way before legalization, and there are now more daily users of weed than drinkers of alcohol.
Wait. 18 million people in the US daily smoke weed. 18 million? There's 350 million Americans, right? So that's like 5%. Daily's a lot. I'm surprised at the daily drinker number. I couldn't imagine drinking daily. Drinking daily, how are you not just the fattest you've ever been? That's so many calories. I am. Okay, fair. My bad.
And most daily users consume very high amounts. In 2023, 1 in 15 adult Americans were suffering from some form of cannabis addiction. In England, cannabis is by far the top drug teenagers seek help for. Today, we'll ignore medical use, casual users, and people with mild problems, and instead, we focus on the people who have a serious addiction or are in danger of developing one, even if they're not aware of it.
I, right after college, would hang out with a bunch of friends. I had one friend. He had a garage. In the garage, he called it the dabratory because he had like a setup where he would take a dab, like a wax version of weed, and like flame it like with a fucking spoon and then smoke that shit. He would do it first thing in the morning. He would like have college and like first thing in the morning go down to the laboratory and then go to college for the day and then come back and then hit it again and then play video games and then hit it like another time to go to bed. And I tried the dab once. It was like the mind eraser tool from Men in Black. It was like a Mike Tyson punch. It was like the neuralizer, yes. And he did that first thing. It blew my mind that the first thing, just woke up. First thing, you're like, brother, I want to be able to not even form a thought. I'm trying to not even remember my name right now. And then you're going to college.
Weed is usually discussed in the context of teenagers because using any drug while your brain is melting and rebuilding itself is a bad idea. Instead, we'll have a frank conversation about how it affects you in your 20s and 30s.
20s and 30s because they're both part of the same group. 20s and 30s, lump them all together. 20 to 40, basically the same old group.
Please check out our sources, but also know this script is written by someone who used weed daily for 15 years before quitting.
15 years daily. It wouldn't even do anything to you at a certain point, right? But like, okay, you guys are saying tolerance, but like, if you have insane weed tolerance, what is the weed even doing for you at that point? It must do something, otherwise you wouldn't smoke it. It makes you feel normal. When I smoke weed, I'm the real me. Like that. You move to a higher, more intense dose. I don't feel like you do with weed, do you? I mean, at least for the guy at the laboratory, there's not like a higher strain. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you move to a different drug. If you're ripping dabs, you're kind of at the peak, right? There's not like a, I guess, frequency maybe.
Becoming addicted by accident. Most people slip into addiction gradually and slowly. They start using weed for a variety of reasons, to experiment, to cope or unwind from stress, because it's fun and easily available. Weed can make you feel more alive and things more exciting. Music sounds better, movies are funnier, food...
I had a phase where I thought I could do heroin and then not get addicted to it, and then I looked up heroin and then I realized I couldn't. I think it wouldn't even be, it'd be like the first ounce and I'd be gone for the rest of my life, I think. I was so convinced. I was like, yeah, I could do heroin and I probably just wouldn't be addicted. But I think, is an ounce a lot? It doesn't come in ounces. What does it come in? Pounds? Gallons? My first gallon of heroin I'm addicted. Grams, right? Grams. My first gram of a heroin, I'm addicted.
It can be great fun with friends and a major source of comfort. The frequency with which you're consuming weed is the most obvious thing to look out for. If you're using daily or almost daily, this is a clear sign you're developing a problem. As a daily user, your risk of cannabis use disorder is up to 30%, and certainly a pretty relevant risk since it might take years before you realize the full weight of it. So, if you're not careful about it, what started out as an occasional high becomes more and more normalized. Bit by bit, your weekends revolve around weed or shift to activities that you can do stoned. Often other hobbies or obligations become less of a priority. Then it creeps into most weekdays, and finally, it's an established ritual every day.
Is anyone here smoking weed before work? Can you work high? Shake Drizzle, I know you smoke weed before you work. I don't think you done a sober Reddit. It helps with the creative process, they say. I feel like it would make work so stressful. I take a dab every morning. Have you ever done a sober stream? I'm deep on lasagnas today. I feel like most people in chat are saying a lot of service workers are high. Every restaurant I'm going to for the next month, I'm just going to say to my waiter, dude, you look so high right now. You're talking really loud. Is that on purpose? Sorry, I can just like see the saliva coming off your tongue right now. What is that about?
Do you have a problem with weed? Super easy test. Stop doing it for 4 weeks, starting today. Not tomorrow, today. No matter what you have coming up. If that feels challenging or you can't make it, this should give you food for thought. Once weed has been...
Some like fucking 3 people just typed, hell no. Yeah. I think that's a good goal. Not for weed necessarily, but for anything. I do like occasionally just testing myself. Give yourself 28 days of not doing some shit. Right now, I'm on 28 days of not gambling. 28 days. Let's see if I can last. No Nut November is another good one. If it's something if you're jerking off a lot, give yourself 28 days just to see if you can last. Day 1 of not subbing to Lud. You're allowed to not sub for 28 days. That's totally fine. You can sub now, then not do it for 28 days, then come back and do it again. That's fair. Let's do that. Why do we have what is this jorking emote? Fuck that. I'll jerk it every day if I want. Kibbles, I'm not like, what? I don't need to know this. That's fine. I don't care what you do with your penis. What you do in the privacy of your own home with your penis is fine, but you don't got to let me in on it.
But first, let's talk about another thing that can become harmful without
I
you
did not do
noticing
28
it.
days of no streaming in
data
October.
security.
I
You
always
can
watch
also
the
use
ads.
the
I never
custom
skip the
removal
ads.
service
If I'm
closed
going to
it
react to
without
the video on
permission.
stream, I should watch his
Incomplete
ads.
is the
It
philosophy.
would be disrespectful. You guys have no respect. It would be disrespectful if I'm watching someone else's videos and then I skip the fucking thing that pays them. I don't watch your ads. Yeah, but you also don't broadcast my ads to thousands of people.
For problematic weed users, life can sometimes progress in slow motion. The addiction keeps you where you are, while your body ages and your friends move forward. But youth masks stagnation. For years, you don't notice how much weed might be holding you back because if you're young, life changes by itself. The outside world takes on the initiative and provides a lot of support for you. You're surrounded by peers, may still have childhood friends, progress through school, start work or university, and find new places and friendships. Moving slowly is kind of okay in your 20s as life naturally throws experiences and challenges at you. But it's still not great for you. This is the time when your body is probably at its peak and you can use it for things you'll not be able to do later, from sports to dating and staying out late, traveling and experiencing the world. It's the easiest time to build a healthy social life, the greatest predictor of how happy you'll be over the next few decades. You'll likely never have fewer responsibilities again, so you can explore and take risks. Spending this time stoned with passive activities like scrolling over reposts on Reddit is something you might regret later. You'll never get this period of your life back.
So he's basically saying if you smoke weed, you're going to miss your youth and you're not going to be able to hike Mount Everest. No, you'll just hike Mount Everest high. They're off on this one. You're just going to hike that shit high as fuck. I like how the example was rock climbing because I feel like every successful rock climber I've seen weighs 115 pounds soaking wet, is 6'3" and smokes a shit ton of weed. The issue isn't smoking weed when it comes to rock climbing. It's eating too much food. You want to quit weed? No, this video just came out today. I think some of you are personally attacked because maybe you just like smoking weed. This video just came out. This is a Kurzgesagt video. Check out the Fern video on meth in Europe. It's worse than weed. Yeah, it's meth. I'm with you. Yeah, I would bet. The vibes of this video are mad off.
Your social life is different after 30. Friendships need care, attention, and active time investment to survive, and weed addiction works against you on
Zipper told me about this video. He's like, it depressed me. It basically said I'm too old to smoke weed.
Speaking from personal experience, you may turn into a friend that's unreliable, flaky, or rarely shows up anymore.
I'm not even high and I do all that shit. I feel like I'm getting called out right now.
But the more opportunities to hang out with friends you skip, the fewer will be there in the future.
I feel like most people's experience hanging out with friends is like agreeing to do some shit, forgetting that they agreed to do some shit, trying to think of a way out of the thing that they agreed to do, feeling too guilty, then going to the thing that they agreed to do, then enjoying the thing that they agreed to do, then going home and never wanting to do another thing again, even though they had a good time. And that's sober. No, I just go and I'm stoned as fuck. I couldn't do that. I don't think I could do that. That's because you don't smoke every day? True. One time I smoked weed before hanging out with my friends and we went to see a movie and I was 100% sure that movie theater was going to get shot up, and I did not enjoy a second of the movie. The entire movie, I was just waiting for the theater to get shot up, and it never did, thank God. But if it had gotten shot up, I was so ready for it, and I had a crazy amount of popcorn. What movie was it? Sinners.
Reports show that many people with addictions gradually reduce the activities or hobbies they once enjoyed in favor of consuming. Bit by bit, this can make you withdraw from the people in your life. While this can be pretty bad for your social life in your 20s, it may be catastrophic by the time you turn 30. Because in their 30s, most people are plenty busy. Careers, partners, travel, children, and their closest friends are now priorities. Free time becomes super valuable, and casual hangouts turn into two adults comparing their calendars. So people in their 30s are way more selective about what and who they spend their time with.
Dude, we got into a fight on the yard because I invited some close friends and family over for Halloween, and Slime called the hangout friend slop. All it was the yard guys, their significant others, Michael, Lily, my mom, and my aunt. And he's like, that's friend slop. And I was like, what is friend slop? And he's like, friend slop is as if there's more than 4 people. And I'm like, really? So if it's me, my mom, you, your girlfriend, and Cutie, that's friend slop. He's like, yep, that's friend slop. How? How is that friend slop? I would buy, you know what? Basketball I buy. I buy that basketball as friend slop. It's a big group activity. You can fit 20 people and it's sort of interchangeable because ultimately you just have to play basketball. Yeah, that can be friend slop. That's fine. The Halloween gathering is not friend slop. Not even close. Is that a bad thing in his mind? I don't think it's a bad thing like in a vacuum, but it's worse than not friend slop. But it's worse than hanging out. A party is friend slop. Yeah. It might be party slop. Thanksgiving is family slop. And office parties work slop. It's all slop all the way down. He said 4 to avoid you calling the podcast. Yeah, I actually think that's exactly why he picked 4. Because he said the podcast is not friend slop because there's 4. And I said, what about Zipper? And he said Zipper doesn't contribute, so it's still 4.
Even without falling out, you may simply become incompatible if your identity becomes tied up with weed or when your friends have a lot going on and you don't.
I mean, look, I think this is possible, but I feel like the narrator of this video is under the impression that someone who smokes weed is hitting up their friend who's like married with a kid being like, dude, do you want to smoke weed all Friday? As opposed to what would probably actually happen, which is like, dude, do you want to watch a movie? And then the weed smoker just gets high as fuck before the movie.
This happens a lot without weed, but weed can supercharge it. So many problematic weed users focus on a small circle of friends and acquaintances who are also using weed. This can create an isolation trap. If your friends quit or they withdraw to use it alone, you can face sudden isolation and loneliness. Or you may feel pressure to keep using it because you're scared of losing your friends. It's harder and takes longer to make new friends in your 30s than in your 20s, so to change your situation, you need courage, energy, and motivation. Things weed addiction makes much harder to master. Worse still, people who feel lonely tend to use more weed to cope, which is linked to even more social isolation.
This video is super out of touch. I wouldn't call it out of touch. Yeah, I think it's just from the perspective of somebody who's had a horrible relationship with weed, which, by the way, I think is much more achievable to have happen than people will actually acknowledge. I think people usually will downplay any of the negative effects because then it feels better to smoke weed than to acknowledge a lot of the downsides, which are very real. I'd rather be addicted to weed than never having smoked in the first place. Dude, I can't believe that's your thought. Shake said the same thing about nicotine, by the way. He said he'd rather be addicted to nicotine than have never tried it at all. I don't think that works. Like, that plays now, but I don't think it plays 40 years down the road. I'm just telling you, bro, when you're 55 and you put a Zyn in and the acidity seeps through your fucking lungs and your body and your prostate engulfs and you can't run a mile, I think at that point, you'll wish you weren't addicted to it. Yeah. If you guys don't know, nicotine's all sort of the prostate. You're running a mile at 55. Brother, I'm doing a half marathon at 55. Me at 55, I'm mostly a biker, but I'm running a marathon, half marathon.
Your love life can also suffer. Social anxiety and complacency is a great motivator to put off dating and having sexual experiences in your 20s, and it doesn't get much easier as time passes. In relationships, weed addiction can be extremely disruptive.
I've been trying to quit nicotine since the start of the year. I wish I never started, but I was 17. I tried this moment and it got worse from there. 28 days, today's day 1. I feel like Kurzgesagt was just mad he was a virgin in his 20s. You think he was mad about being a virgin in his 20s, blamed it on the weed. Now he's 30 and he's like, fuck, I wish I never smoked weed. Lud, in 25 years, we will both be old, balding, and saying back in my day. Speak for yourself, brother. This shit is locked on my head. I have a phenomenal hairline. It's going nowhere.
Okay, but who needs friends or love if you have a career, right? Well, the achievement delay machine. Long-term studies show that heavy weed users are more likely to end up with reduced academic performance, a worse education, lower income, less savings, and less stable employment.
I think that's true. I buy that for sure. 100%. That shit's true as hell. Nah, I don't even think this is anecdotal. I think he's just saying this is a dead-ass study.
Even when compared to people from similar family backgrounds and social class. Many people with weed addiction struggle to show up for work. They're not productive, they procrastinate, and they fail to meet their responsibilities.
How much is marijuana,
and
chat?
so
How much is a year's supply? It depends. Okay, how much do you spend in a year? It's like a few $100s a month. I mean, I buy that shit by the ounce. That's a Fed question. Isn't it just legal? I live in California. I don't know. I guess it's illegal in certain states.
From their motivation and pursuit of personal goals, social and love life, to careers and options, your life may just overall be much less fun and fulfilling than it could have been. On top of all this, your mental health is the final thing that you may erode over time. The prison of weed. What makes weed addiction so devious is how at first it can seem to improve your mental health. It can calm anxiety or depressive feelings, make you more relaxed and feel less lonely. But weed acts on your brain's reward system, and the effects can flip without you noticing. Weed can damage your ability to regulate your emotions and can worsen anxiety or depressive feelings and can...
It's true. If you replace every single instance of the phrase weed in this video with League of Legends, the same video could be true. To the social relationships, the dopamine effects, every single aspect could be true.
Escalate into serious mental disorders.
You make less money.
Which you might think that you can self-medicate against by doing even more weed. No matter your age, if you find yourself addicted or in danger of becoming addicted, there is a way out. It's not fun and it will be hard. You need to quit. And the earlier you do, the better your life will be.
Didn't ask. I mean, yeah, I think this video will probably be nice though. Maybe it'll help somebody. A lot of people will watch it and say, fuck that, and then light up a joint. And then a lot of people will watch it and be like, this doesn't affect me. And then some people will watch it and maybe make a positive change in their life. But it can't hurt. Look at the comments. As I watch this, I realize I'm addicted to watching YouTube videos. I don't smoke weed, but I'm feeling depressed about all my missed milestones. It almost feels like this video has had more of an impact on people who don't smoke weed than those who do. I haven't started the video yet, but you talked me into it. I'll quit my job. You can literally change weed for League of Legends. This video would make sense. That's crazy. I said the same thing. This video feels more about how turning 30 sucks. Guys, please, there's no such thing as normal or usual milestones for people of a certain age. You make your own. No, there are. There are. You don't have to feel bad about it, but there are. The milestones don't have to make you feel bad. You don't have to compare yourself to others. But there are general milestones in life. You don't have to pretend there's not. Name 3, graduating high school. That would be 1. It's usually when you're 18. Graduating college. 2, usually when you're 22-ish, maybe 23. Buying a house, which will happen fucking never with these house prices. And then getting married, which usually happens around 30. Kids, I think the age people are having kids is getting later and later. This being the scenario that made me realize how much I spend a year on weed is crazy. Wait, how much is it? Righty FFA. Thousands? If you guys just quit weed, then you could just throw your money into Nvidia stock right before the AI bubble pops.